Okay, so good morning everybody and once again welcome back. Day number 24 for ITSM batch 2. Now we have done almost 80% of the course, right? We discuss about basics, CSDM, CMDB, knowledge management, problem management, incident management, and change management as well. Now we are on the track of the release management is basically a module which is not much mature in service. Now, this is what my experience is. When I say mature means it is not that much good that you can start using immediately. A lot of validations need to be done on top of that. Okay. A lot of things need to be done on top of that. Also in our ITSM, we're not going much in depth of release management because a few things are there which we are going to be discuss on this particular area of the release management. Let me open this. But the question comes, what is release management? We can say release means that when multiple changes going in a production and we put them in a package, it's called the release. Like movie get release. In movie, what we have? In movie, we have a dialogues, we have a scene, we have a songs, we have a audio, we have a video. All these things are there. They bundled it together and they release it. It's called the release management. It's basically a release.
Is it like a delivery, like deliver?
Deliver is the change also get delivered, I can say, because change is also something which is changing the production system. Release means that when you bundle one or more changes in a one package, that's called the release. Like WhatsApp has released the new features, audio, video call, payment, or they just release a payment. Now in the payment, there are the multiple things. You can receive payment, you can send payment. Two different functionalities has been built and put in a single package, and that is called the release.
So it's kind of the solution which get deployed on a IT network or IT environment, maybe on the larger endpoints, or
You can see.
okay.
So that is it. I'm coming to that point that in the industry, change and release has been used interchangeably, but it is not the right case. It should not be. It should not like this because release has its own way, change has its own way. But still, people say, no, I'm working on the release, I'm working on a change. A change can be single, go in the production, but release has multiple changes and release has a life cycle. Like change has a new assess authorize. Release has a design, build, test. And then it can go for the approvals. Okay. So now if I come here, before we go for this one, let me go to service now and show you something. Do we have release management? Okay, it's already there. Nice. I thought it's not there. So let me activate the plugin. Okay. So now release management has interaction with the almost everybody. CRM. Sorry, SRM, not CRM, SRM. When you want to be update your catalogs, you can use the release management that now I am going to be start a training on X module as well, Y module as well, Z module as well. I'm updating my catalogs. Through the release, you can fix caused by incident caused by release. Through the release, we can update the non-errors. Guys, we have sent this problem statement in this release, can update the non-error. Change can be done via release. Means we can club changes in a one package and put in the release. Knowledge management, it can be inputs. Because if non-errors are there, it means indirectly it's coming to the this part as well. Okay. And finally, CMDB to update our services. That okay, we are releasing this service, we are retiring this service. These things can be done in the release, right? Now, if these are the things of the release, how release has been built up. As I say, in the service now, release play a good role, but not very mature. So where we are, yes. Let's go for the rule. Before that, let's go for the table structure. To activate or to see the release management in the service now, when you take the service now, it is not come out of the box. We have to be activate a plugin, and what plugin is required? Is required release management v2. It's known as a v2 only. This one. Release management v2 plugin. So if I activate this, I will be able to see the options in the navigation bar here. Release is one of the modules which come with very less modules. Only 2 or 3 modules will be there. So it's all installed, you can see. Everything is there. Let's say, do we have any load demo data? Okay. I know it's already there, but just to be for the sake, if anything is there, we can do a repair. Repair means if something is not working sometime in the plugins, we can try to get a repair as well. Means all the broken files should be updated and all the things should be done properly. Okay. Now, when we say that we can activate this release management from this plugin, and release provide us a very few option or the modules in the navigation bar. So now let's go here and open the tables. Release has a very weird kind of relationships on the table level. Okay. See. Release has a lot of tables. Like release product, release phase, release, and this release. This is project for, this is for the complete release. Release phase. RM release. We're talking about these tables, right? Yes. Scrum release, SDLC release. But if you see here, let me close this and show you. If you see here, you will find only these 2 options, product and release. No other table you will find, no other module you will find out. So in this part, the main point is that in the release, it starts from the table called task. Yahan se. Okay, this task table or this planned task has been extended from the task table. So now how it's look like the structure of the release. Or let me open this task and it should be plan task. This one open from this. If you say, is the release get extended from the task table? Directly, no. Indirectly, yes. This plan task table get extended from the task table only. Like incident, change and problem, which are directly extended from the task. Release is not the same case. Release get extended and a table called plan task, and under the plan task we have different tables. So if you come and see the schema, but it's a very big module on this table level, I can say. So now you can see this is release, our main table. Get extended from the plan task, and this has been extended from the task. So indirectly release get extended from the task only, but to make it little simple and easy, task table, then plan task table, and then the release table. Because release is not like change or problem or incident. Release has multiple subtables which work together, like release phase, SDLC release. In release we have sprint as well. We have Scrum release as well. There must be something called feature as well, I'm sure. Let me see. Let me open this in the other table. It's called, let's search with this RM. This one, RM. So now if I show like this, show matching. So these are the mainly 4 tables. Release 1, product 2, release phase. It is not with that, it is RM underscore release. Why am I not getting this one? So total, if I say, where's my notepad gone? So total, if I say, it has a product table, that is RM underscore product. Then we have a release table, because release always go on a product level, on a service level. Okay, so it is RM underscore release, then release phase. It's RM underscore release underscore phase table. Then the feature. What feature you are be adding, like WhatsApp as a payment as a feature, audio call as a feature, video call as a feature. Now they have added group voice call as a feature. So it go RM underscore feature. And the last is a release task. So RM underscore. These are the 5 tables which going to play a very vital role. But question come, Atul, if these are the 5 tables, then we must have this thing in our navigation bar as well, right? But here ServiceNow did not provide that one. Neither feature, neither task, nothing is there. Before, I guess 2 or 3 releases, there were multiple options available, multiple modules available, but now it is not available here. Before we go to that level, let's understand that what are the roles required to work on the release. So let's go here and open the user admin and role. The good part is that only mainly 2 roles are required here. One which is more famous, which is more required. One is this: release v2 admin and release v2 user. Only these two roles are main important role in the release management. You can work on the release if you have a admin user. Not sure that what ServiceNow have thought in mind. They're not improving release management as well. It required a lot of improvements. So when I was working as a release manager for one of my customer, so I just have this admin role. This one. And everybody need an admin role to work on the release. Not sure why, like how ServiceNow give this part. Few roles are there like release read. Only for the table level you can read it. But if you want to actually work on the release, then you need a release v2 admin role. Okay. Now we talk about a lot of things. Let's come back here and open this release, because until us will not see that how it's look like in ServiceNow, it's tough for us to be see.
Atul, I have a question.
Good.
Actually, release works on based on the following, phases. Like we have
Build,
requirement
test.
gathering, design and development, right? Build, test, and then deploy, right?
Right.
So this has to, coincide with your change that we are doing, right? So the deployment happens through the change, correct?
No. Change
And
is
what
part of
we need,
no, change is the part of release. Means we club the changes in the one release and release get deployed. Ultimately, change get deployed, but when we say that we're bundling the changes in a release, then we say release deployment has been done.
Atul, one more point, as Anthony rightly said, that when we are planning for any release, right? So there is a prerequisites are required, right? So preparation, right? Something get released. So there are some penetration tests happen, right?
Right.
There are vulnerability and IT
Yes,
security team getting in.
yes.
So how these get classified before there should be one role, right? There should be certain role should be, prerequisite in the should be part of release.
Yes. I'll show you that part now.
Mhm.
Okay. So release, as I said, that release has been happened on a product level. Like I'm releasing something on the Windows XP. I'm releasing something on the Windows 7. I'm releasing something on the MacBook Pro. Okay. So first, if I have to be, let's say I am releasing something on the ITSM or the techno-functional. Okay, I can put that this is my product. I'm selling it in the market, techno-functional training. Now this is my product. Under this product, I have multiple release. One release in the January, one release in the October, March, one release in the June, one release in the October, one release in the December. So I can create multiple releases here. If I have already built up release, we can get edit. Otherwise, we can click on the new. So now release type. Major release, minor release, upgrade, emergency, and maintenance. Let's say I got a receipt from the bank that we are going to be do a major release in our websites. Look and feel will be changed, login credentials has been changed, mobile app will be changed. So this is release type, and this is depend on you as a business that what type of release you are doing. So I said it's the major release. What is the priority? We can decide. Then phase. You are in which phase of release? Remember these tables. product, release, and phases. So product has been done now. Okay, product is techno-functional training. Release, I am building it. Under release, I am on which phase? I am on the phase of requirement gathering. Maybe I can create 5 releases for the different phases. Or maybe 1 release and then I'll move the phase one by one. So I'll say design the data. In this phase, I am just doing the designing the agenda. When it will be start, we can put the date and time. 7th of this, it will be ending on the 5th. Let's say only for 8 days. Okay, and save it. Now under the release, I can have few more things. I can have some sub-release as well. I can have release phases as well. Like this is a major release, and I can say this release is mainly for the requirement gathering. Under that, I have a multiple releases. Maybe I can say a one release to get end-to-end requirement from the customer. So if you want, you can create release phases as well. Let's say click on the new. And I can say workshop release. And then I can put date and time for this one and click on the submit. Now a release phase can be in the draft, in the scope, in the approval, in the work in progress, in the testing, in the deployment. Now we're not talking about the release, we're talking about the release phase. So think from a industry perspective. If tomorrow WhatsApp need to be do some more releases or some major release in the functionality, so they do this particular part. In a release, they have a release phase. First release phase in the draft state. So like if I say okay, draft and submit, that I have release phase called the workshop release, and I will work on that part. I said, okay, Anthony, you are responsible for this one. Please do this thing. I'll get one more phasing. Build or deployment. Anuj, you are responsible for this. You have to do this part. This life cycle and this life cycle is totally different. Even the value are same, but the functionality is different. That is the reason I said in the beginning that I'm not much happy with the ServiceNow release management, because there are no much validation is there, no much details are there. Now, if I'm done this part, let's go here. To do the release phase, I can have release task as well. In the workshop, I have a task. To whom I can assign? I can assign to Anthony. Sorry, Andrew. Here, workshop slides. I can put description, I can put work notes, I can put date and time, and I can put the state, open, submit. I can have multiple tasks in a release phase. Now a release phase, sorry, a release, see, now there is no way that we can go back. There is another problem. So let's go back like this. This is our release. Now in the release, we can have stories. That in this release, we are going to do 5, 7, 8, 10, 20, 30 stories. Like if you remember in a agile world, there's a concept called the PI planning. Right? And it happened for a quarter. Once in a quarter it happened. Where we decide that what we are going to bring in the next quarter for this particular product. So what they do this thing only. They design the stories, they design the epics, then they design the stories. The epics get mapped to the release. Stories get mapped to the release phases. In the story we have a task, or in the release phase we have a task. So you can map epics, you can map stories, you can map defect, enhancements, anything you can map it. And here we can map our changes. Now if you click on this release hierarchy, so this is what hierarchy provides us. In a single release I have a one more release, and at that phase, and at that we have a task. This is what the ServiceNow release management says here. There's a no validation. You can go anytime, anywhere. If I cancel it, I can still go back. And there's a few things like this. If you change the view, Scrum view, it's not be changing. Maybe I don't have a role or what.
To be honest, Atul, sorry to interrupt you this, but I would say this is a complete incomplete solution.
Yes,
of
100%.
When we plan for any release, there are some the GRC and compliance part is a major scope when we drafting any release part.
See,
first
okay,
phase.
one thing. You can do that part in ServiceNow, but if you activate the GRC plugins. Maybe I'm just a startup now. I don't have anything on the GRC. Then why should I do bother on that part?
No, I'm just talking about, let's say, let's say small organization, yeah, big organization, and there's not a question. If something I'm releasing as a product, okay,
right.
Say, okay, what software binaries as a customer I use? It's an open source, commercial, right? So these are the major things. These are the impacting financially strongly to any organization. So these are very important steps when we planning any release. Yeah.
Not only from the security. Maybe you have to take approval or have release from the legal department as well. You have to take the financial department as well. You have to take from the government department as well. Standards also. So multiple things are there in this part. But maybe ServiceNow have no plan as of now to upgrade this release management. Maybe very less customers are using, so they don't want to spend the time to update this. Because one of my customers say I want to be users of the user release management. I give them a demo, which is I'm showing you. And after giving the demo, the results or the conclusion was, sorry, we're not in the mood to go for the release because there is not a single validation given by ServiceNow. At least in incident, in problem, in change, you have some validations, you have some workflows. There are no workflows been designed.
Atul, I was coming to that. So even I tried to click on that yesterday. It just comes with the release hierarchy, but I do not see any workflow.
Yes, nothing has been designed. Nothing is there.
And this view, whatever you are showing, that is a SDLC view.
Right.
And in the default view, right, we do not get these faces.
Right. These are all the formatters.
So in the default view, if you go to the default view,
yes,
we have to do everything manually. For example, the state. And too much of work. For example, the release manager has to go and update each and every time what he has to do.
I am 500% agree with you. But this session is not about the feedback of the release management. The session is about that what available in ServiceNow from the release. Practically, if you ask me, I'm not happy. I'm not a big fan of release management of ServiceNow, at least at point of time. I have a customer where they say that, can you bring this in the SDLC view? Now, mine is in the draft state, or let's say in the Learn state. See, this is blank. How this is possible? This is blank. I can change anytime anything.
So Atul, one question, it may be out of context, like, we have the demand management, which triggers
Yes.
the product and the project management, right? So
Right.
in your, experience in the customer environment, how often does, customers use release management than the project management that is getting triggered
Very
for the
less. Release are very less. Because at least to use the basic release management, you need to do a lot of validations. So it's like there's a house which has all windows, no wall, all windows. Window have no glasses. Window has no cover. There are pipelines, but there's no water. There are wiring, but there's no tube, no plug, no switch. So if you want to stay in that house, first you have to be fix minimum these things so that you can stay. The same thing is with the release management here. It need a very high, very big level upgrades. Very minute thing is required. No validation, no workflow. What do you think that release is not required for any approval? Release required approval, definitely. Change required approval, release also required approval. Release manager is there, release users is the different thing. So, but for our ITSM part, we have to understand that what is including in the release. So we see that product is mainly on which particular component you are going to deploy the change. Release is a planned for complete life cycle. Phases, as we see, it can be requirement gathering, it can be designing, it can be development, it can be build, it can be deployment. Features, what you are releasing in that particular part. This is what we have seen. Under release, we have a features. They remove the features as well, right? They remove the features. Earlier feature was also there. Or maybe it is hidden. Let me see. Do we have that part? Little list. And a feature. What feature you are deploying in a release? But this is a feature task, not the feature. Okay, type is feature. Okay. So now you can see feature, bug fix, improvement, what you are doing in that particular part. And the release task, the minute level where you are actually working on that particular part. Okay. It is more over a theoretical part which we are going to be discussed, not much practical. Okay. Now, if I come to the next slide, this. A release has mainly these three things: inputs, planning, and deployment. Input says that what type of release we have, like we see major, minor, or patches kind of things. This one, emergency, maintenance, or patches. Calendar says that how we can plan it, when we can plan it, and process says how it will be done in a sequential or parallel manner. Then once we get the input, we go for the planning. We take these three as the input and we define a right process. That a release must have a release feature, release phase, must have a scrum stories, or must have a epics and the task. And once this has been decide, then we go for the deployment. First we do the build. Build means the separate components has been compiled and put in a single package. Now, if you want to travel from one place to another place, you cannot make 10 different briefcases, one for the trouser, one for the shirt, one for the shaving kit, one for your hair dryer, one for your eating stuff. What you do, or what we do, we put everything in a single bag or the briefcase. That is called the build compilation. Then we test it. That is, this build is fine. Are we getting any error? And testing means we can do the user acceptance testing as well. That let's deploy this release in this particular environment to see what the results are coming. And finally, we go for the deployment, production deployment, non-production deployments. We do that part. We say release is getting deployed, but actually under the release, we have a different packages getting deployed. Release is a big name. Is a big name. So this is a small thing which we need to be understand, because why I'm telling this, because if you're preparing for the exam, these points are important. And how the release and ITSM cycles work. When we are in the release phase, we say that we are in the release planning. We start using the change management. Okay, guys, start working on the changes. What changes we have to do? How you say these changes are going in this particular release. Let's plan it. So we do this part. Build and test. Directly, it's a configuration item that on which CIS it is going to be changed. It's going to be deploy. Deployment. Are we deploying any kind of problems or problem management kind of stuff? That is the, or due to deployment, there's some problems has been rising because it's a two-way cycle, two-way arrow. And finally, in review and close. Once we are closing the releases, is any incident has been generated? Yes or no can be the one case. Okay. Now, if I come to your part that Atul, okay, with that we got it. But the question come, where this release management fit in the industry? Like incident come in the beginning, then come problem, then come change, then where come the release? I'll pick up your point, Anthony, which you say idea and demand. So how it's work? Someone was sitting and say, let's start a business. This is what is called the idea. Now someone says, let's start a business. This is the idea. To start a business, we need the funding. Let's generate the demand. IPOs. Tomorrow Apple say, guys, I'm going to be set up a very big manufacturing industry of or the plant in India on this particular location. They have an idea. To do that part, they need a funding. They need an approval. Maybe they need approval from the Indian government. They need approval from the US government. They need approval from the CEO, CTOs, CFOs approval. So that thing become demand. Because when an idea become demand, multiple things has been evaluated. What value we are going to be achieve? Is it beneficial for us to go for this particular plant in India? What is the rate of ROI and return on investment? What are the risks? What are the assumptions? Everything has been discussed in demand. Same case, Anuj is getting young now. He need a bike. यार बहुत हो गया, अब तो bike चाहिए. Let's put an idea. Dad, let's buy a bike. अच्छा? Demand has been generated. Why you need a bike? What you will do? Who will pay the maintenance? Who will pay the petrol or the oiling part? Who will for this servicing and all the things? After evaluating this demand, if things goes well, demand get moved. Otherwise, rejected. nahi Anuj, abhi nahi. We don't have that much money and you are not that much young, or we don't require the bike immediately. Demand rejected. If the demand get approved, become project where we guys work. We say, na, I ask, okay, Anthony, on which project you're working? Hey, I'm supporting a financial customer. Atul, you? I'm supporting an insurance customer. What you're doing? I'm implementing ITSM for them. And you? I'm doing the transition. What's that? That's a project. And how they become a project? Because they have an idea. It become demand. Demand get approved and it become project. Or maybe I'm already working on a financial customer, for a financial customer on the ITSM implementation. They says no, now we want to be improve it and we want to be introduce the release management. So that is an enhancement. And these 4 sections, Anthony, your point, these 4 sections come under the project managements, ITBM part, IT business management. Because once a project started, then we have a resourcing, we have a billing, we have everything. Now what happened? Let's say a project has been ready, or the enhancement has been ready, it going in the production. How it go? It go with the help of the release. Guys, we're launching the release management on 1st of December. Okay. Then a release have a stories, epics, features. In the stories features, maybe something is coming from the incident. Because when you deploy something for the customers say, hey, it is not working. There is an incident. Multiple customers, it become problem. To fix the problem, we have a change and then change again, go to the release. This is the way it actually works. So now if I say ultimately story started from release, or like say, like if we say why the Adam eat that fruit, there's a story, right? Adam and Eve. If Adam did not eat that fruit, he did not get something from the God, and we are not here. Why this idea come? If this idea did not come, we are not here. And ideas are there, so we are here. So idea become demand, demand become project, project become release, and release has story, epic, feature, and these things have an incident, problem, change later on. But these things happen only when the first release has been happened, not before that. Until unless you will not say, until unless these training did not start it, you cannot ask these many questions to me. Right? So there was an idea, and now this is my batch 2 release, where we are discussing. Every day I share something, you have question, you ask me on that questions. The day 1, when till the time I did not say anything, nobody has no question. Because nobody know that what is the idea is there, what is the project is there. As soon as I start delivering the things, you're starting incidents. Atul, what is this? Why this is not be happening? Why this is the way to do this part? So this is a small story of release management. Clear. Let me show you something here. If I can get it. ITBM, idea and demand management. नहीं, ये तो वो है that how the idea become and all these things. रुको ऐसे, I'll searching the wrong way. Service now. There's a Beautiful picture as well. We can say management image. I forget that there is a good picture which I generally follow in my projects as well. Not projects, sorry, in my trainings. I'm not getting it, but it's a very simple one which say this. Idea demand. Project relationship. Maybe it got changed also. Not getting that one, but there's something you will get it. Yeah, I'm not getting it. But what I showed you now, the something similar available in the here as well. This one. No, this will tell that what is included in the ITPM. No, not this one. We need it. Maybe if I get, I'll share with you guys. Okay, so this is a small story of the release management. Doubt, question, clarification. Easy था, right?
नहीं तो easy नहीं था.
अच्छा नहीं था, चलो good. Someone said it was not easy. Good. Okay. Now we have done our this part. Release management.
Atul, that we should go with some more videos on like more documentation on the ServiceNow documentation about release management. That will give more idea about that, or this is enough?
I can say this is enough, but if you want to do a little bit more R&D, you can read it on the docs.
Because on each and every topic we have to do it, because after this, of course, this training get done, we have to follow.
Right. So
It is.
okay, good. Now what you have to be do. Let me tell you that how you can improve your knowledge.
Yeah. Like you are talking about the entire ITSM implementation.
Then I'm talking about the or more higher level.
Okay.
Okay. So the question come, generally people ask me as well when we go for the podcast or the discussions, how you have these many examples and how you know that these are the solutions available in ServiceNow. If I say truly and perfectly, ServiceNow has its own community, community.servicenow.com. If you log in there, you will find people are putting a lot of questions. Incident, change, problem, request, knowledge, scripting, business rule, client script, workflow. Go and read that questions. Go and read that answers. Maybe on the day one, you will not understand a single word. But after day 5, day 6, you will be capable to answer those questions as well. If there is scripting question, don't pick up. Because if you know that you cannot answer the scripting, don't pick up. But if it is like an operational question, guys, can I do this thing? Can I do this thing? How it can be done? Think from your perspective. Search on the docs, search on the Google and try to be answer that. I'm telling you, in the committee, you will find the different forums for the different modules. You will get it easily. And that is the best source to enhance the knowledge. More than ServiceNow docs, you can learn on the community. Read the question, read the answers. So if you don't have an account in the community, make an account. Log in and see. If you spend 30 minutes in a day on the community, I can guarantee you by end of the year you'll get 3000 time knowledge. How I can build these questions in front of you, because I go to the community when I get time, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes when I get time, and something it's stuck in my mind. Oh, why this guy is asking, and I try to put the in front of you. Okay, guys, let me know. Right? I was not aware that in a flow designer, there is a no mechanism to do the parallel flowing, that I can get the parallel approval in a via the flow designer. There is no mechanism, but I was in assumption that there should be something. So someone asked a question and someone replying on that question. How I come to know? I did not read the release notes. I read the community question. In a service portal, we are going to be on the service portal on Monday. If you need to be create a multiple or the check boxes, there is no straightforward way to create the check boxes. अनुज का कमाल है, इतना बड़ा सर्विस में चेक बॉक्स नहीं है इसमें. There is a different way to do that part. I was not aware. So these are very minute thing, very minute thing you will come to know. And you will feel happy when you see these questions. And you will feel more happy when you start answering those questions. When someone says, yes, thanks, Anuj, your answer is helpful. Thanks, I'm accepting your answer as a solution. You feel good. Yes, I am able to help someone. Go and check on the community. In a single day, thousands of questions came, thousands of questions. I just go and check only CIS admin or maybe this incident management forum. Only these two forum I get maximum 10, 20 minutes, 30 minutes I get a time in a day. But multiple forums are there. People are putting like hell number of things. Even you can't say that, okay, this can be done or not. I tell you one thing, let me share experience with you guys. We done the CMDB, right? Let me come here. Don't think I'm doing a time pass. I'm going to start the other topic as well. Okay. Someone says that this is my CI form. Very good. I want to make a change of a this text. Now tell me, do anybody of us, 5 people, including me, we thought that can we change this text? But someone asked that question in the community. I tried my best to get the answer, but no success. I see from where this box is coming. I see from where these things are coming, but I did not get this thing. Now, can you imagine that people are asking these questions? There are real-time scenarios.
What could be the purpose of asking this question? Because just because the
maybe
client is asking?
Maybe he has a client requirement. I want to show CI relationship, not the related items. So the question which you ask me, I ask the question in the community, what value is driving this particular change? Is it a business requirement? Then what value you are driving? What benefit you are able to see? I am okay. I can see that, okay, there are no value, but people want to be learned. There are discussions happen in the community. Someone says, I want to make incident form read only for a specific group. I said, yes, you can do it. He said, I can say you can do it. Give that, create a group and give that group as a SN read role. Sorry, write role. Sorry, read role. Immediately he answered me, sorry, my client wanted ACL. I said, why you want to do ACL? ACL is not a good practice. You need an elevated role, plus you have to maintain it. Second, but he's not agree. No, I want only ACL because my client want. I said that's client want is something different, but you are a developer. You have to give the best solution to the customer. I tell you one more example. Let me come here now, because I want my batch should go and see this thing. So there's a question came in the community. This one. Okay. There's a question in the community. You can see this one, add attachment, right? The question came, can I get this add attachment here? Now tell me how it can be done.
Can we start with the order?
करके देख लो, try. Monday we are going to start this thing only. Give a try. Before you say, can we set the order? My question was, what business value is going to be drive? Why you need it on the top? See, if you're still scrolling, it is getting hide, right? Then what business value are going to be drive with this? क्या कहते हैं अनुजब? ईश्वर, Anthony. So these are the questions you will get in the community. And these are things which we need to be learned. I have another question I saw yesterday. Someone say, once I submit a request, I want a functionality that a user can go and edit the request once again and make the change in the variable. What do you think? How it can be done?
What's the question?
He says, let's say I click order now. Okay. Oh. Say no, this and midnight and order now. Okay. Submitted. Done. Now after 5 minutes, I said, no. I need Apple iPhone, but I need in the black color. But I order in the midnight color. I want to make it change. Ab batao. What you will say? These are nothing, but these are the eye-opening questions. And this will open your mind in the 360-degree angle to force your mind to be think that why he need or why she need this. If I reply on the community, I never go for how. I only stuck on the why because I don't know how. I don't know that how this can be done. It's a complete scripting coding. But I ask why you need it. Once the order has been submitted, it's submitted. In the background, you have a workflow. In the background, you have an automation. Then, but that person says, no, I need it. Now tell. Because he or she has the demand from the customer. Requirement from the customer. If you spend 30 minutes on the community, you will say, wow. People has lot of questions, lot of questions people has. Sometimes I did not even open the question by reading the short description because it's required a coding. I did not even open it. This is a very good place. In my podcast, I asked to the people and people say they learn from the community. There's a guy came in my podcast, Gaurav Shirsak. He learned the virtual agent from the community itself. He learned the workflow, the flows from the community itself. People are putting question, he tried at his edge and he learned it. And these are the practical knowledge. A good use cases. Okay, so let's start now the next topic. This one. Any doubt, any question? Before anybody go for the sleep.
Nothing. Our day just started. We are not.
Okay. Now
Yeah.
I'm not going to do for the next topic. I'm going to give you a little homework. Specifically, Khalda, for you and Anuj. I know Ishwar and Anthony are in the industry for a long time. Please read about service catalog and the request management from the ITL perspective. A high level, that what is this and how it's work in the system. Rest we will discuss. Like you read about the change, you read about the knowledge. Same way now read about the request service catalog and the request management. It will be take 3 days as per my idea, maybe 4, but this is the only last topic left in our bucket, which is little larger. And I'm nothing to be hurried in that particular part. We have a time, so we can do it very easily. Any last question before I close the recording? Okay, no question. Let me stop the recording.